Hi, it's Hamish here, the founder of Bridebook. The request has been on show round advice. So engagement season's coming up. It's the most important time of the year. Over 50,000 couples will join Bridebook over the next few weeks. And then especially in January, that's when show rounds are key. And I'm going to actually give you 10 tips for how to do great show rounds from what we've learned from all the venues we deal with. And then I've got a bonus item at the end. But hopefully these tips will really help you, absolutely smash it. This engagement season is going to be the busiest engagement season in history. So getting everything lined up now is hopefully really great time spent to make the most of the boom ahead. So talking about show rounds, you've done all the hard work of marketing, of contacting these couples, of getting them so excited about your venue and considering you so much, they're willing to come in person to visit your venue. And this is the absolute key conversion moment, which is down to yourself and the venue to convert them. On average, couples will have considered over 20 venues online. It's 23 venues online. They will have read a load of reviews. They would have contacted 8 venues. They will visit only 3. So you're down to the final 3, and this is your chance to wow them and win them. So kicking off, the first bit is when you've got that moment, they're excited to come. Make sure you're getting excited about that moment. Tell them, you might want to say, we're doing an open house coming up, or we've got a goodie bag when you come and visit, or we'd absolutely love to see you on this certain date. Get them committed in, and then make sure you're following up with them before the occasion, and ideally using maybe a piece of software like Calendly, which will put it in their diary and send them automatic reminders. If you don't use something like that, send them an email the day before, send them a WhatsApp if you're happy to do that, and make sure they're coming. Get that confirmation from them. It also shows them how much you care, or show off some of your personality, and make you stand out from the crowd. Some learnings from Headser, we've seen actually batching show rounds for the first show round has been incredibly successful for us. So we will have open houses, around 2 a month, or at least 1 a month, and we'll encourage couples to all come on that certain evening or on that weekend. And we're not putting on anything other than making sure the house looks great, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But we find having other people there, the ambience of other people, the social proof of seeing other people who are excited by the venue, gives couples a lot more confidence and a lot more willingness to attend than going on their own, which feels extremely high commitment and can feel like, walking around an empty venue can be quite daunting. Analogy I'd compare it to is people being excited to go to a busy restaurant, but very nervous about going to an empty restaurant. Even though you might be served quicker and you can choose any table you want, actually going to that buzzy environment fills you with a lot more confidence that this is a great restaurant. And actually doing that vibe for Headser has worked incredibly well. At our most recent open houses, we've had actually 150 people come to them, and we'll message everyone who's inquired to us in the last month and say, come on down. And actually all that buzz, having a few more team members there, has actually converted much better than us inviting everyone to individual one-to-ones, and also saves a lot of time, obviously. On their second show round, most often that will be a one-to-one where they actually really want full care and attention. So on tips, so you see their car coming up the drive, right, it is action time, this is your moment. So a few pieces of advice: make sure you're being a host. This is where most venues can really differentiate. It's like, welcome to our venue, come on in. That hospitality, couples care about teams so much. They want to meet someone they're going to work with for the next year, planning the most incredible, special, memorable event of their lives. You opening the front door with a smile on your face, being like, come on in, will distinguish you enormously. Another thing we highly recommend is, giving a spirit of sort of generosity and hospitality. That's what we recommend, always offering a drink. And actually a sort of tip on this is always offer something in a flute. So whether it's a glass of champagne or Prosecco or no Secco or orange juice, just feels very special. It feels very celebratory. It's a lot easier to walk around and hold a flute than holding a cup of tea in a saucer. And people feel, oh, this is a sense of occasion. You only hold a flute at special occasions. It's very easy to do. It's a lot quicker than making a coffee or a cappuccino or whatever. And something that's worked very well at Headset. And it makes them feel very special. Always have your venue set up to be looking its very best for show rounds. Have the lights on, have some music playing. You don't need some incredible sound system, just have a speaker. Recommend the Bridgerton playlist. It's a mix of sort of modern and classic. It's something that, we just have on loop at Headset, to be honest. Have a quick run around, make sure, there aren't lots of ladybirds or flies around, which is always a problem at Headset, often a few times of the year. But that moment, you're trying to get them to feel as homely as possible. You do not want them feeling they're walking around an empty, cold venue. Most people won't have a great imagination. You want them to feel, that ambiance, as I was saying, and that's where also having other people walking around has been beneficial for us. To show you a real example of how at Headset we've taken this to an extreme, maybe, or to something is we've redone the lighting on the outside of the house. Actually, even though the vast majority of weddings happen in the summer and most people will never see this lighting, it's all for show rounds. And this is what it looks like when you arrive at Headset. So the lighting's absolutely stunning. And this is actually just for showcases, just for show rounds even. So you can turn it on, it all goes on beautifully. And it's so when couples are coming up in the middle of January on a Tuesday night, a bit apprehensive what they're turning up to. The lights are on, the warmth is on, someone with a big smile's there offering them a glass of champagne. Like, this is awesome, and I'd highly recommend that. So when they've actually got into the house, this is where actually going from room to room and having a really crafted and a sort of knowledgeable approach of each room and having anecdotes, really helps us at Headset. And my wife, Rosie, who was a global head of communications at Roccaforte Hotels and launched the Corinthia and has been and the Dorchester collection and things like that. Has been involved in, taught me an enormous amount on this, on really it's on communications. So for every room at Headset, we will really have 3 different anecdotes where we can choose which we want to go to. So we would have something historical, something more modern, and often sort of celebrity related, to be honest, and then something very wedding related to get them immersed in it. So I can tell you now, welcome to the central hall of Headset. This is a Italianate villa that was built by George III for his mother in 1776. The carpet you are standing on was given to us by Nicole Kidman in the movie The Golden Compass, who we were the location of, which gives you that modern piece. And then, this is an amazing room for your wedding. This is where our ceremonies happen. You'll have you can sit 140 people. You can also have guests sitting around the balcony up here. That always looks amazing. And then in the evening, this is where this is transformed into your dance floor. As one of the coolest places to have a dance floor in the world. And having those 3 for each room, and I can actually do that for any room in the house. Also, you're then reading the reaction of the couples. If they've got completely bored hearing about George III, you're going into the celebrity stuff. If their eyes have pricked up, oh wow, Nicole Kidman, or whichever, whatever we're grabbing onto, looking for that, reading your audience, and really like listening and seeing what they respond on, and that will build a lot of rapport. Also give you loads of confidence on your show round to be, have all these little weapons ready in your arsenal to be like, great, we can now, go into another room and tell them about something that really resonates with them and not bore them with, more architectural facts, something like that. And as I was sort of showing there, something that's incredibly valuable is when you're going around the house, really, or your venue, really try and immerse them in that storytell and help them visualize So, you know, here we are at the great staircase at Hedsa. This is an amazing photo shoot. You know, often people have the cake at the bottom here. Your cake will be here. All your friends will line up the stairs, and that photo's a photo all our couples love. And actually, this is the ballroom your guests will be coming out of. You'll have that photo, and then they'll come through to the amazing dance floor we were just talking about in the centre hall. A great tip is to also have an iPad to show some photos. You know, here's a photo of what we're talking about, and helps them, you know, immerse into that world again on that, you know, cold Tuesday night in January. Once you've done this tour, one of the things to be very careful of is sort of being over-imposing. It's probably coming across now. You want to give them space, you know, let them talk. Try and read signals as much as you possibly can. Leave silences to get them to talk. A great question is often, you know, what do you want your couples to be saying about your wedding on Monday after your wedding, when they go back to the office? And that will really get couples saying, oh, well, this is really important to us, and that will be pinging off, you know, little things you're going to show them in the next room. But on an open house, what we do at that stage is then leave them and say, now go for a wander, give them that space. You know, just like going around renting a house or buying a house, you don't want someone, you know, on your back. You want to speak openly with your partner. And often we'd say, you know, I'm going to be in the library. If you've got any questions, you know, come and have a chat, or come and find me. We can talk through availability, you know, talk through what's possible, and giving them some space. Couples really appreciate that. And then, you know, when you're sitting down with them, that's where you want a really relaxed environment. You don't want it rushed. Allow enough time. Have photo books. Have a really nice place for them to sit in, like a comfortable environment. Have them on a, you know, don't have them in some sort of exposed place with two Chiavari chairs plonked in a large ballroom. Gives them this really nice environment where you can have a great conversation and build rapport again. And the goal at that stage is to try and get them to pencil in a date. They're very likely to come back for a second viewing with other stakeholders, often family members, but getting them to pencil a date down is the key milestone there. That's what you're focused on. So finally, the only, obviously then you're waving them off. They've penciled a date. You've done a brilliant job, and congratulations. The key bit, the bonus tip I'm now going to talk about, is of those, even if you're doing very well, as we said, you know, 1 in 3 of those couples is going to be booking you. We've seen venues do higher than that, but a lot of people won't be booking you. And that's a really amazing audience to get feedback from. So this is my bonus tip, number 11, is at Hedsa, we will go out to those couples who didn't book us a month later, asking them for feedback. We have a very detailed survey saying, who did you end up booking? You know, we'd love your advice. We love showing you around. Generally, we've built a lovely rapport with them. You know, who did you end up booking, and why did you end up booking them? If there's one thing you could improve at Hedsa, what would it be? If there's one thing you loved, if there's one thing you didn't like, you know, what would it be? And that feedback has been immensely useful for us. It has taught us the ballroom carpet, everyone hates it, or half the people hate it. So, you know, we replaced that. It taught us we really needed to improve disabled access to the house, because a lot of couples obviously have elder family members, and we put in an amazing electric lift into the side of the house now. And all these things is all from feedback from couples who didn't book us, which often people don't talk to. So I hope that's been useful. Please send feedback. If these are valuable, let me know. If there's a topic you want to cover, reply to the email, write a comment, and really appreciate your time. And, you know, the Bribet team and I are wishing you the very best, the most exciting time, wedding history ever, of this engagement season coming up. And we're here to help you absolutely do brilliantly in it, and always wishing you the best. Thanks a lot.